Eurydice, a play in one act, 3 movements, by Sarah Ruhl. There will be no intermission. First movement, scene 1. A young man, Orpheus, and a young woman, Eurydice. They wear swimming outfits from the 1950s. Orpheus makes a sweeping gesture with his arm indicating the sky.
All those birds! For me? Oh, thank you. Oh, and the sea! Now? Oh, it's mine already. Wow. Oh, surely not the sky. And the stars, too. That's very generous. Perhaps too generous. Thank you. What are you thinking about?
Music.
How can you think about music? You either hear it or you don't.
I'm hearing it then.
Oh. I read a book today.
Did you?
Yes, it was very interesting.
That's good.
Don't you want to know what it was about?
Of course.
There were stories about people's lives, how some come out well and others come out badly.
Do you love the book?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Well, it can be interesting to see if other people, like dead people who wrote books, agree or disagree with what you think.
Why?
Because it makes you a larger part of the human community. It had very interesting arguments.
Oh, and interesting arguments are good ones.
Well, yes.
I didn't know an argument should be interesting. I thought it should be right or wrong.
Well, these particular arguments were very interesting.
Maybe you should make up your own thoughts instead of reading them in a book.
I do. I do think up my own thoughts.
I know you do. And I love how you love books. Don't be mad. I wrote a song for you today.
Did you?
Yes, but it's not interesting or not interesting. It just is.
Will you sing it for me?
It has too many parts.
Let's go in the water.
They start walking arm in arm on extensive unseen boardwalks towards the water.
Remember this melody.
Oh.
Whoa.
I'm bad at remembering melodies. Why don't you remember it?
I have 11 other ones in my head, making for a total of 12.
Oh.
Do you have it?
Yes. I think so.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
She sings the melody.
Whoa.
She misses a few notes. She's not the best singer in the world.
Pretty good, pretty good. The rhythm's a little off. Here, clap it out.
She claps. He claps the rhythmic sequence for her. She tries to imitate him. She is still off.
Is that right?
We'll practice.
I don't need to know about rhythm. I have my books.
All books have rhythm.
Kind of. Let's go in the water.
You remember my melody underneath the water?
Yes, I will always remember your melody. It will be imprinted on my heart like wax.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When are you going to play me the whole song?
When I get 12 instruments.
Well, where are you going to get 12 instruments?
I'm going to make each strand of your hair into an instrument. And they will stand on end and play my music and become a hair orchestra. It will fly you up into the sky.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be an instrument.
Why?
Well, won't I fall down when the song ends?
That's true, but the clouds will be so moved that they will fill up with water until they become heavy, and you'll sit on one and fall gently down to earth.
Oh.
How about that?
Okay.
It's settled then.
What is?
Your hair will be my orchestra. And I love you.
I love you too.
How will you remember?
That I love you?
Yes.
That's easy. I can't help it.
You never know. I better tie a string around your finger to remind you.
Is there a string at the ocean?
I always have string in case I come upon a broken instrument.
He takes out a string from his pocket. He takes her left hand.
This hand.
He wraps string deliberately around her fourth finger.
Is that too tight?
No, it's fine.
There. Now you'll remember.
That's a very particular finger.
Yes.
You're aware of that?
There. Yes.
How aware?
Very aware.
Orpheus, are we?
You tell me.
Yes, I think so.
Do you think so?
I mean, I wasn't thinking. I mean, just yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
May our lives be full of music.
Music! He picks her up and throws her into the sky.
Maybe you could also get me another ring, a gold one, to go over the string one. You know.
Whatever makes you happy. Do you still have my melody?
It's right here. What are you thinking about?
Music. Just kidding. I was thinking about you. And music.
Let's go in the water. I'll race you.
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 They race towards the water. Scene 2. The father, dressed in a dusty black suit, reads from a letter.
Dear Eurydice, a letter for you on your wedding day. There is no choice of any importance in life but the choosing of a beloved. I haven't met Orpheus, but he seems like a serious young man. I understand he's a musician. If I were to give a speech at your wedding, I would start with one or two funny jokes, and then I might offer some words of advice. I would say, cultivate the arts of dancing and small talk. Everything in moderation. Court the companionship and respect of dogs. Grilling a fish or toasting bread without burning requires singleness of purpose, vigilance, and steadfast watching. Keep quiet about politics, but vote for the right man. Take care to change the light bulbs. Continue to give yourself to others, because that's the ultimate satisfaction in life. To love, accept, honor, and help others. As for me, this is what it's like being dead. The atmosphere smells, and there are strange, high-pitched noises like a tea kettle always boiling over, but it doesn't seem to bother anyone. But, for the most part, there's a pleasant atmosphere, and you can work and socialize, much like at home. I'm working in the business world, and it seems that here, you can better see the far-reaching consequences of your actions. Also, I'm one of the few dead people who still remembers how to read and write. That's a secret. If anyone finds out, they might dip me in the river again. I write you letters. I don't know how to get them to you. Love, your father.
He drops the letter as though into a mail slot. It falls to the ground. Wedding music. In the underworld, the father walks in a straight line as though he is walking his daughter down the aisle. He is affectionate, then solemn, then glad, then solemn, then amused, then solemn. He looks at his imaginary daughter. He looks straight ahead. He acknowledges the guests at the wedding. He gets choked up. He looks at his daughter and smiles, an embarrassed smile for getting choked up. He looks straight ahead, calm. He walks. Suddenly, he checks his watch. He exits in a hurry. Scene 3. Eurydice by a water pump. The noise of a party from far off.
I hate parties. And a wedding party is the biggest party of all. All the guests arrived, and Orpheus is taking a shower. He's always taking a shower when the guests arrive, so then I have to greet them. A wedding is for daughters and fathers. The mothers all dress up, trying to look like young women. But a wedding is for a father and a daughter. They stop being married to each other on that day. I always thought that there would be more interesting people at my wedding.
She drinks water from the water pump. The nasty, interesting man wearing a trench coat appears and sees Eurydice cupping her hands full of water.
Are you a homeless person?
No.
Oh. I'm on my way to a party where there are really very interesting people. Would you like to join me?
No, I just left my own party.
You were going to a party and you just left?
I was thirsty.
You must be a very interesting person to leave your own party like that.
Thank you.
You mustn't care at all what other people think of you. I always say that's the mark of a really interesting person, don't you?
I guess.
So, would you like to accompany me to this interesting affair?
Oh, no, thank you. I just got married, you see.
Oh, lots of people do that.
And that's true, lots of people do.
What's your name?
Eurydice.
Eurydice.
Goodbye, then.
Goodbye.
She exits. He sits by the water pump. He notices a letter on the ground. He picks it up and reads it.
Dear Eurydice.
Musty, dripping sounds. Scene 4. The father tries to remember how to do the jitterbug in the underworld. He does a jitterbug with an imaginary partner. He has fun. Orpheus and Eurydice dance together at their wedding. They are happy. They've had some champagne. They sing together.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me.
With anyone else but me.
No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Till I come marching home.
On the other side of the stage, the father checks the clock. He stops doing the jitterbug. He exits in a hurry.
Whew, I'm warm. Are you warm?
Yes.
I'm going to get a drink of water.
Oh, don't go. Don't go.
I'll be right back.
Promise?
Yes.
I can't stand to let you out of my sight tonight.
Silly goose.
They kiss. Scene 5. Eurydice at the water pump getting a glass of water. The interesting man appears.
Oh, you're still here.
Yes. I forgot to tell you something. I have a letter addressed to Eurydice. That's you. From your father.
That's not possible.
He wrote down some thoughts for your wedding day.
Let me see.
I left it at home. It got delivered to my elegant high-rise apartment by mistake.
Why didn't you say so before?
You left in such a hurry.
From my father.
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
Oh, I knew he'd send something.
It'll just take a moment. I live around the block. What an interesting dress you're wearing.
Thank you.
Scene 6. Orpheus from the water pump.
Eurydice! Eurydice!
Scene 7. The sound of a door closing. The interesting apartment. A giant loft space with no furniture. Eurydice and the man enter, panting.
Voila!
You're very high up!
Yes, I am.
I feel a little faint.
It'll pass.
Have you ever thought about installing an elevator?
No, I prefer stairs. I think architecture is so interesting, don't you?
Oh, yes. So where's the letter?
But isn't this an interesting building?
It's so high up.
Yes.
There's no one here. I thought you said that you were having a party.
I like to celebrate things quietly with a few other interesting people, don't you? Would you like some champagne?
Maybe some water.
Water it is! Make yourself comfortable.
He gestures to the floor. He switches on Brazilian mood music. She looks around.
Oh, I can see my wedding from here. Oh, the people are so small. They're dancing. There's Orpheus. He's not dancing.
So, who's this guy you're marrying?
His name is Orpheus.
Orpheus! Not a very interesting name. I've heard it before.
Maybe you've heard of him. He's kind of famous. He plays the most beautiful music in the world, actually.
I can't hear you.
So the letter was delivered here today
That's right.
through the post?
It was mysterious.
The sound of champagne popping.
Ah!
He enters with one glass of champagne.
Voila! So, Eurydice, tell me one thing. Name me one person you find interesting.
Why?
Just making conversation.
He sways a little to the music.
Right. Well, all the interesting people I know are dead. Or speak French.
Well, I don't speak French, Eurydice.
I'm sorry. I have to go. There's no letter, is there?
Of course there's a letter. It's right here. Oh, Eurydice. I'm not interesting. But I'm strong. You could teach me to be interesting. I would listen. Orpheus is too busy listening to his own thoughts. There's music in his head. Try to pluck the music out and it bites you. I'll bet you had an interesting thought today, for instance. I bet you're always having them the way you tilt your head to the side and stare.
Musky dripping sounds.
I feel dizzy all of a sudden. I want my husband. I think I'd better go now.
You're free to go whenever you like.
I know. I think I'll go now. In fact, I'll just take my letter first if you don't mind.
Relax.
Goodbye.
She turns to
Wait.
exit. He blocks the doorway.
Eurydice, don't go! I love you!
Oh, no.
You need to get yourself a real man. A man with broad shoulders like me. Orpheus, he has long fingers that would tremble to pet a bull or pluck a bee from a hive.
How do you know about my husband's fingers?
A man who can put his arm around your little shoulders as he leads you through the crowd. A man who answers the door at parties. A man with big hands, with big stupid hands like potatoes. A man who can carry a cow in labor.
The man backs Eurydice against the wall.
My lips were meant to kiss your eyelids, it's obvious.
Close your eyes, then.
He closes his eyes, expecting a kiss. She takes the letter from his breast pocket. She slips under him and opens the door to the stairwell. He opens his eyes. She looks at the letter.
It's his handwriting.
Of course it is!
He reaches for her.
Goodbye!
She runs for the stairs. She wavers off balance at the top of the stairwell.
Don't do that! You'll trip.
Orpheus!
Eurydice!
She runs, trips, and pitches down the stairs, holding her letter. She follows the letter down, down, down. Blackout. Quiet. Strange sounds. Xylophone. Black band. Sounds of polio. Sounds of vertigo. Silence! Sounds of breathing. Second movement. The underworld. There is no set change. Strange watering noises. Drip, drip, drip. The movement to the underworld is marked by the entrance of stones. Scene 1.
We are a chorus of stones.
I'm a little stone.
I'm a big stone.
I'm a loud stone. We are all three stones.
We live with the dead people in the land of the dead.
Eurydice was a great musician. Orpheus was his wife.
Orpheus was a great musician.
Eurydice was his wife. She's dead now. Then he played the saddest music. Even we
The stones.
cried when we heard it.
The sound of 3 drops of water hitting a pond.
Oh, look. She is coming into the land of the dead now.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. We might say, poor Eurydice.
But stones don't feel bad for dead people.
The sound of an elevator ding. An elevator door opens. Inside the elevator, it is raining. Eurydice gets rained on inside the elevator. She carries a suitcase and an umbrella. She is dressed in the kind of 1930s suit that women wore when they eloped. She looks bewildered. The sound of an elevator ding. Eurydice steps out of the elevator. The elevator door closes. She walks toward the audience and opens her mouth, trying to speak. Then there is a great humming noise. She closes her mouth. The humming noise stops. She opens her mouth for the second time, attempting to tell her story to the audience. There is a great humming noise. She closes her mouth. The humming noise stops. She has a tantrum of despair.
Eurydice wants to speak to you, but she can't speak her language anymore. She talks in the language of dead people now.
It's a very quiet language.
Like if the pores in your face opened up and tried to speak.
Like potatoes sleeping in the dirt.
The stones look at Big Stone as though that were a dumb thing to say.
Pretend that you understand her, or she'll be embarrassed.
Yes, pretend for a moment that you understand the language of the stones.
Listen to her the way you would listen to your own daughter if she died young and tried to speak to you across great distances.
Eurydice shakes out her umbrella. She approaches the audience. This time, she can speak.
There was a roar and a coldness. I think my husband was with me. What was my husband's name? My husband's name. Do you know it?
The stones shrug their shoulders.
How strange. I don't remember. Oh, it was horrible to see his face when I died. His eyes were like 2 blackbirds and they flew to me and I said, "No, stay where you are! He needs you in order to see." When I got through the cold, they made me swim in a river and I forgot his name. I forgot all the names. I know his name starts with my mouth shaped like a ball of twine. Or I forget. They took me to a tiny boat. I only just fit inside. I looked at the oars, and I wanted to cry. I tried to cry, but I just drooled a little. I'll try now. What happiness it would be to cry! I was not lonely, only alone with myself, begging myself not to leave my own body, but I was leaving. Goodbye, head, I said. It inclined itself a little as though to nod to me in a solemn kind of way. How do you say goodbye to yourself?
A train whistle. Eurydice steps onto a platform, surveying a large crowd.
A train!
The station is like a train, but there is no train.
The train has wheels that are not wheels.
There is the opposite of a wheel, an opposite of smoke, and the opposite of a train.
Oh,
A train pulls away.
oh, I'm waiting for someone to meet me, I think.
Eurydice's father approaches and takes her baggage.
Eurydice,
At last, a porter to meet me. Do you happen to know where the bank is? I need money. I've only just arrived, and I need to exchange my money at the Bureau de Change. I didn't bring traveler's checks with me because I left in such a hurry. They didn't even let me pack my suitcase. See, it's empty. And it's funny, right? Funny. Ha! Oh, I suppose I can buy new clothes here. Oh, I would really love a bath.
Eurydice,
Oh, what is that language that you're speaking? It gives me tingles. Say it again.
Eurydice,
Oh, it's like a fruit. Again,
Eurydice, I'm your father.
Eurydice, I'm your father. How funny. You remind me of something, but I just can't seem to remember. Say it again.
Your father.
Shut up.
Shut up! She doesn't understand you. She's dead now, too. You have to speak in the language of stones.
You're dead now. I'm dead too.
Yes, that's right. I need a reservation for the fancy hotel.
When you were alive, I was your father.
Father is not a word that dead people understand.
He is what we call subversive.
When you were alive, I was your tree.
Ah, my tree! Yes, the tall one in the backyard. I used to sit in its shade all day.
She sits at the feet of her father.
Ah, there. Shade.
There's a problem here.
Oh, are there any dancing ladies at the hotel? Any entertainment, like with the great big fans?
I named you Eurydice. Your mother named all the other children. Eurydice, I chose for you.
Be careful, sir.
Eurydice, I wanted to remember your name. I asked the stones. They said, forget the names. The names help you remember.
We told you how it works.
One day, it would not stop raining. I heard your voice inside the rain. Somewhere between the drops, I saw letters falling, the letters of your name. I translated them. E, I remembered elephants. U, I remembered ulcer and under. R, I remembered reindeers. I saw them put their black noses into the snow. Y, youth and yellow. D, dog, dig, daughter, day. Oh, time poured into my head. The days of the week, the months, the hours.
The tree talks so beautifully.
Don't listen!
I feel suddenly hungry. Where is the porter who met me at the station?
Here I am.
I would like a continental breakfast, please. Maybe some rolls and butter. Ooh, and jam. Would you please take my suitcase to my room?
I'm sorry, miss. There are no rooms here.
What? No rooms? Oh. Well, where do people sleep?
People don't sleep here.
Well, I have to say, I'm very disappointed. It's been a very tiring day. I've been traveling all day, first on a river, then on an elevator that rained, then on a train. I thought that somebody would meet me at the station!
Don't cry, don't cry.
I don't know where I am! And there are all these stones, and I hate them. They're horrible! I want a bath. I thought that somebody would meet me at the station!
Don't be sad, miss. I'll take your luggage to your room.
There are no rooms!
He picks up her luggage. He gives the stones a dirty look. The sound of water in rusty pipes. Scene 2. Orpheus writes a letter to Eurydice.
Dear Eurydice, I miss you. No, that's not enough.
He crumbles up the letter. He writes a new letter. He thinks. He writes.
Dear Eurydice, a symphony for 12 instruments.
A pause. He hears the music in his head. He conducts.
Love, Orpheus.
He drops the letter as though into a mail slot. Scene 3. The father creates a room out of string for Eurydice. He makes 4 walls and a door out of string. Time passes. It takes time to build a room out of string. Eurydice observes the underworld. There isn't much to observe. She plays hopscotch without chalk. Every so often, the father looks at her, happy to see her, while he makes her room out of string. She looks back at him, polite. Scene 4. The father has completed the string room. He gestures for Eurydice to enter. She enters.
Thank you. That will do.
She nods to her father. He doesn't leave.
Oh, I suppose you want a tip.
He shakes his head.
Oh, would you run a bath for me?
Yes, miss.
He exits the string room. Eurydice opens her suitcase. She is surprised that nothing is inside. She sits down inside the suitcase. Scene 5.
Dear Eurydice, I love you. I'm going to find you. I write the saddest music now that you're gone. You know, I hate writing letters. I'll give this letter to a worm. I hope he finds you. Love, Orpheus.
He drops the letter as though into a mail slot. Scene 6. The father enters the string room with a letter on a silver tray.
There's a letter for you, miss.
A letter.
A letter.
He hands her the letter.
It's addressed to you.
There's dirt on it.
Eurydice wipes the dirt off the letter. She opens it. She scrutinizes it. She does not know how to read it. She puts it on the ground, takes off her shoes, stands on the letter, and shuts her eyes. She thinks, without language or the thought, the melody, "There's no place like home."
Miss,
What is it?
Would you like me to read you the letter?
Read you the letter? Ha!
You can't read it with your feet.
The father guides her off the letter, picks it up, and begins to read.
It's addressed to Eurydice. That's you.
That's you.
You. It says, I love you.
I love you.
It's like your tree.
Tall. Ooh, green.
It's like sitting in the shade.
Oh.
It's like sitting in the shade with no clothes on.
Oh. Yes.
I'm going to find you. I play the saddest music.
Music.
It's like that.
Go on.
You know I hate writing letters. I'll give this letter to a worm. I hope he finds you. Love, Orpheus.
Orpheus?
Orpheus.
That word. It's like. I can't breathe. Orpheus. Oh, my husband.
Eurydice looks at her father. She recognizes him.
Oh.
Scene 7.
Dear Eurydice, last night I dreamed we climbed Mount Olympus and we started to make love, and all of the strands of your hair were little faucets and water was coming out of your head. And I said, why is water coming out of your head? And you said that gravity is very compelling. And then we jumped off Mount Olympus and we flew through the clouds, and you held your knee to your chest because you skinned it on a sharp cloud. And we fell into the salty lake. And then I woke up and the window frightened me, and then I thought, Eurydice is dead. And then the whole room started to spin, and I wondered, who am I? Then my bedclothes smiled at me with a crooked green mouth, and I thought, what are people? It all scares me, Eurydice. Please, come back. Love, Orpheus.
Scene 8. Eurydice and her father in the string room.
Did you get my letters?
No. You wrote me letters?
Every day.
Oh, what did they say?
Oh, nothing much, the usual stuff.
Oh, tell me the names of my mother and brothers and sisters.
I don't think that's a good idea. It'll make you sad.
I want to know.
It's a long time to be sad.
I'd rather be sad.
Being sad is not allowed. Act like a stone.
Scene 9. Time shifts. Drops of water. Eurydice and her father in the string room.
Teach me another.
Ostracize.
What does it mean?
To exclude. The Greeks put a name to who they would banish. They write the name of the banished person on a piece of white pottery called an ostracon.
Ostracon. Another.
Peripatetic. It means, it's from the Greek. It means to walk slowly, speaking of weighty matters, in bare feet.
Pathetic. A learned fruit wandering through the snow. Another.
Defunct.
Defunct.
It means dead all of a sudden. Not slowly, the way I died, but all at once, in cowboy boots.
Tell me a story of when you were little.
Well, there was a time your uncle shot at me with a BB gun, and I got mad at him, so I swallowed a nail. And there was the time I went to a dude ranch, and I rode a horse, and I lassoed a car, and the lady who was driving the car got out and spanked me. And your grandmother spanked me too.
Remember the Christmas when she gave me a doll and I said, if I see one more doll, I'm gonna throw up?
I think Grammy was a little bit surprised when you said that.
Tell me a story about your mother.
The most vivid recollection I have of Mother was seeing her at parties and playing the piano at home. When she was younger, she was extremely animated. She could really play the piano. She could play anything by ear. They called her Flaming Sally.
I never saw Grammy play the piano.
She was never the same after my father died. He was a very gentle man.
Tell me a story about your father.
Oh. My father and I used to hunt ducks by the Mississippi River. He would call up old Frank and say, "How are the ducks moving tonight?" Old Frank, he could really call the ducks. It was hard for me to kill the poor ducks, but you get caught up in the fervor of it. We'd get as many as 10. If you got too many ducks, there's a limit to how many you could get per person. Father would throw the ducks on the side of the creek we were paddling on, and then go and make sure there was no game warden around. If there was no game warden, he'd run back and get the extra ducks, throw them in the back of the car, and my father, he was not a great conversationalist, but he loved to rhapsodize about hunting. He would always say, "If I'm ever going to die, it's in a duck pond." And it was.
There was something that I always wanted to ask you. A story. Or someone's name. I forget.
Don't worry. There's plenty of time. You'll remember.
Scene 10. Orpheus writes a letter.
Dear Eurydice, I wonder if you miss reading books in the underworld.
Orpheus holds the collected works of Shakespeare with a long string attached. He drops it slowly to the ground. Scene 11. Eurydice holds the collected works of Shakespeare.
What is this?
She opens it. She doesn't understand it. She throws the book on the ground.
What are you?
She's wary of it, as though it might bite her. She tries to understand the book. She tries to make the book do something.
What do you do? What do you do? Oh, say something! Oh, I hate you!
She stands on the book, trying to read it.
Damn you!
She throws the book.
Oh!
She lies down in the string room. Drops of water. Time passes. The father picks up the book. He brushes it off. In the string room, the father teaches Eurydice how to read. She looks over his shoulder as he reads out loud from King Lear.
"We two alone will sing like birds in a cage. When thou dost ask my blessing, I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing."
Scene 12.
For Eurydice, E-U-R-Y. That's right. No, there's no last name. It's not like that. What? No, I don't know the country. I don't know the city either. I don't know the street. I don't know. It probably starts with a vowel or something. Could you just... Would you mind checking? Please. I really appreciate it. You can't enter a name without a city. Why not? Well, thank you for trying. Oh, wait, miss. It's a special case. She's dead. Well, thank you for trying. You have a nice day, too. I'll find you. Don't move.
He fingers a glow-in-the-dark globe, looking for her. Scene 13. Eurydice and her father in the string room.
Tell me another story of when you were little.
Well, there was my first piano recital. I was playing I Got Rhythm. I played the first few chords, and then I couldn't remember any more. I ran from the room and locked myself in the bathroom.
Then what happened?
The grandmother pulled me out of the bathroom and made me apologize to everyone in the auditorium. I never played the piano again. But I still remember the first 4 chords. Da da dee da, da da dee da, da da dee da.
What are the words?
Da, I can't remember. Da da dee da, do 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 do.
Look. Da da dee da, da da dee da, da da dee da, da dee dee doo doo doo. Da da dee da, da da dee da, da 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 da.
What is that noise?
Stop singing!
Stop singing! Neither of you can carry a tune.
It's awful!
Dead people can't sing!
I'm not a very good singer.
Neither am I.
Scene 14. The father leaves for work. He takes his briefcase. He waves at Eurydice. She waves back. She is alone in the string room. She touches the string. The Lord of the Underworld enters on their red tricycle. Music from a heavy metal band accompanies their entrance. Their clothes and their hat are too small for them. They stop pedaling at the entrance to the string room.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I am Lord of the Underworld.
Very funny.
I am.
Prove it.
I can do chin-ups inside your bones. Close your eyes.
Ow!
See?
You're pretty. You're little.
I go downward, like a turnip.
What do you want?
I wanted to see if you were comfortable. You're not itchy.
No.
That's good. Sometimes our residents get itchy, and then I scratch them.
I'm not itchy.
What's all this string?
Oh, it's my room.
Rooms are not allowed! Tell her! Rooms are not allowed! Who made it for you?
My father.
Fathers are not allowed! Where is he?
He's at work.
We'll have to dig the river again, make sure you're good and ducked.
Please don't.
Ew. Say that again, I like it.
Please don't.
Say it in my ear.
Please don't.
I like that. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. I mean that in the nicest possible way.
I have a husband.
Husbands are for children. You need a lover. I'll be back. See that she's comfortable.
We will.
Goodbye.
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 I'm growing. Can't you tell I'm growing?
They laugh their hysterical laugh and speed away on their red tricycle. Scene 15. A big storm. The sound of rain on the roof. Orpheus in a rain slicker.
If a drop of water can enter the soil at a particular angle with a particular pitch, what's to say a man can't ride one note into the ground like a fireman's pole?
He puts the bucket on the ground to catch rain falling. He lifts the rain falling into the bucket. He tunes his guitar, trying to make the sound correspond with the pitch of each water drop. Orpheus knows one particular pitch by leading into the underworld. Orpheus finds that the pitch he is searching for might correspond to the pitch of a drop of rain as it enters the soil. A pitch.
Eurydice! That's the note!
Another pitch.
Eurydice! That's the one right there! Did you hear that?
Scene 16. Eurydice and her father in the spring room.
Orpheus never liked words. He had his music. He would get a funny look on his face, and I would say, "What are you thinking about?" And he would always be thinking about music. If we were at a restaurant, sometimes Orpheus would look sullen and wouldn't talk to me, and I thought that people felt sorry for me. I should have realized that women envied me. Their husbands talk too much. But I wanted to talk to him about my notions. I was working on a new philosophical system. It involved cats. That is what it is to love an artist. The moon is always rising above your house. The houses of your neighbors look dull and lacking in moonlight. But he is always moving away from you. There is something more beautiful in his head. Orpheus said the mind is like a slide ruler. It can fit around anything. Words can mean anything. Show me your body, he said. It means only one thing.
Scene 17.
Eurydice! Before I go down there, I won't practice my music. Some say practice, but I think that practice is a word invented by cowards. The animals didn't have a word for practice. The gazelle doesn't run for practice. The gazelle runs because he is hungry or he is scared. The same way that the bird doesn't sing for practice. She sings because she is happy or she is sad. So I say, store it up. The music sounds better in my head than it does in the world. And so when the songs are beating against my throat, then and only then, I will go down and I will sing for the devils, and they will cry through their parched throats. Eurydice, don't kiss a dead man. Their lips might look red and tempting, yes, but put your tongue in their mouths and it tastes like oatmeal. And I know how much you hate oatmeal. I'm going the way of death. Here's my plan. Tonight, when I go to bed, I will turn off the light and put a straw in my mouth. Then, when I fall asleep, I will crawl through the straw, and my breath will push me like a great wind into the darkness, and I will sing your name, and I will arrive. I've consulted everyone, the almanacs, the footstools, the architects, and everyone agrees. I found the right note. Wait for me. Love, Orpheus.
Scene 18.
I got a letter from Orpheus!
What did he say?
He says he's going to come find me.
How?
He's going to sing!
Scene 19. Darkness. An unearthly light surrounds Orpheus. He holds a straw up to his lips in slow motion. He blows into the straw. The sound of breath. He disappears. Scene 20. The sound of a knock.
Someone is knocking.
Who is it?
Who is it?
The sound of 3 loud knocks. Insistent.
No one knocks at the door of the dead.
Third movement. Scene 1. Orpheus stands at the gates of hell. He opens his mouth. He looks like he's singing, but he's silent. Music surrounds him. The melody Orpheus hummed in the first scene, repeated over and over again. Raspberries, peaches, and plums drop from the ceiling into the river, perhaps only in our imagination. Orpheus keeps singing. The stones weep. They look at him, tears bewildered. Orpheus keeps singing. A child comes out of a trapdoor.
Who are you?
I am Orpheus.
I am Lord of the Underworld.
But you're so young.
Don't be rude.
Oh, sorry. Did you like my music?
No. I prefer happy music with a nice beat.
Oh,
You're here for Eurydice.
yes.
But singing would get you through the gates of hell.
See here, I want my wife. What do I have to do?
You're gonna have to do more than sing.
I don't know what you mean. Sir.
Start walking home. You know, your wife just might be on the road behind you. We make it real nice here so people want to stick around. As you walk, keep your eyes facing front. If you look back at her, poof! She's gone.
I can't look at her.
No.
Why?
Because.
Because?
Because!
I look straight ahead. That's all.
Yes.
That's easy.
Good.
Scene 2. Eurydice and her father.
I hear him at the gates. That's his music. He's come to find me.
You want to go with him?
Yes, of course.
She sees that his face falls a little.
Oh, you'll be lonely, won't you?
No. No, you should go to your husband. You should have grandchildren. You'll all come down to meet me one day.
Are you sure?
You should love your family until the dust grows on the purple faces of the grapes. I'll take you to him.
Now?
It's for the best.
He takes her arm. They process, arm in arm, as at a wedding. Wedding music. They are solemn and glad. They walk. They see Orpheus up ahead.
Is that him?
Yes. I think so.
His shoulders aren't very broad. Can he take care of you? Are you sure?
Yes.
There's one thing you need to know. If he looks back and sees you, you'll die a second death. Those are the rules. So step quietly and don't call out.
I won't.
Goodbye, Eurydice.
I'll come back to you. I seem to keep dying.
Don't let them dip you in the river too much a second time. Hold your breath.
Oh, look for a tree.
I'll write you letters.
Where will I find them?
I don't know. I'll get them to you. I'll find a way. Goodbye.
They move away. The father waves.
Bye.
She waves back. As though an old steamer ship. The father exits. Eurydice takes a deep breath. She takes a big step forward toward the audience on an unseen gangplank. She is brave. She takes another step forward. She hesitates. She is all of a sudden not so brave. She's afraid. She looks back. She turns in the direction of her father, her back to the audience. He is out of sight.
Wait, come back!
You can't go back now, Eurydice.
Face forward. Keep walking.
I'm afraid.
Your husband is waiting for you, Eurydice.
I don't recognize him. That's a stranger.
Go on, it's him.
I want to go home. I want my father.
You're all grown up now, Eurydice. You have a husband.
Turn around.
Why?
Because.
That's a stupid reason.
Orpheus braved the gates of hell to find you. He played the saddest music.
Even we,
The
stones.
stones cried when we heard it.
She turns slowly, facing front.
That's Orpheus.
Yes, that's him.
Where's his music?
It's in your head.
Orpheus walks slowly in a straight line with the focus of a tightrope walker. Eurydice moves to follow him. She follows him several steps behind. They walk. Eurydice follows him with precision. One step for every step he takes. She makes a decision. She increases her pace. She takes 2 steps for every step that Orpheus takes. She catches up with him.
Orpheus.
He turns toward her, startled. Orpheus looks at Eurydice. Eurydice looks at Orpheus. The world falls away.
You startled me.
A small sound. They turn their faces away from each other. Matter of fact, compelled. The lights turn blue.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I don't know.
You
I
always
can never
clap your
spell
hands
the word
on the 3rd
rhythm.
beat.
It's such
You couldn't wait for the 4th.
word
Remember?
to spell.
I tried to tell you.
There's an
You were always
H
one step
somewhere.
ahead of the music. Your sense of rhythm, it was off.
Rick.
I would say clap on the downbeat. No, the downbeat. It's dangerous not to have a sense of rhythm. You lose things when you can't keep a simple beat. Why did you have to say my name, Eurydice?
I'm sorry.
I know we used to fight. It seems silly now.
If synams were pots and pans, there'd be no need for tinkers.
Why?
If synams were pots and pans, there'd be no need for tinkers.
Eurydice.
I think I see the gates. The stones. The boat. The stones look happy to see me.
Don't look.
Wow. That's the happiest I've ever seen them.
Think of the
Everything is
things
so
that we did.
gray. It looks familiar. Like home.
We went ice skating.
Our house was
I wore
gray
a
with
red sweater.
door. We had 2 cats and 2 dogs and 2 fish that died.
Will you talk to me?
The train looks like the opposite of a train.
Eurydice! We have known each other for centuries! I want to reminisce. Remember when you said that you wanted your name in a song, so I put your name in a song, and when I got to the gates of hell, I was singing your name. Over and over and over and over again. Eurydice?
He grows quiet. They walk away from each other on extended lines until they are out of sight. Scene 3.
Finally, some peace and quiet.
Like the old days, no music, no conversation. How about that?
With Eurydice gone, it will be a second death for me.
Oh, please, sir. We're tired.
Do you understand the love a father has for his daughter?
Love is a big, funny word. Dead people should be seen and not heard.
The father looks at the stones. He looks at the string room. He dismantles the string room, matter of fact. There's nothing else to do. This can take time. It takes time to dismantle a room made of string. Music. He sits down in what used to be the string room.
How does a person remember to forget? It's difficult.
It's not difficult.
We told you how it works.
Dip yourself in the river.
Dip yourself in the river.
Dip yourself in the river.
I need directions.
That's ridiculous.
There are no directions.
I remember. Take Tri-State South 294 to Route 88 West. Take Route 88 West. You'll go over a bridge. Go 3 miles and you'll come to the exit for Middle Road. Proceed another 3 to 4 miles. You'll pass Duck Creek Park on the right. Take a left at Fernwood Avenue. Go straight down Fernwood past 2 intersections. Fernwood will curve to the right, taking you to Forest Road. Take a left on Forest Road. Go 2 blocks, past the first entrance to the alley on your right. Take the second entrance. Go about 100 yards, A red brick house will be on the right. Look for Illinois license plates. Go inside the house. Take off your shoes. Go into the living room. Look out the window. You can see the lights of the Mississippi River. Walk down the hill. There's a tree, good for climbing, on the right. Cross the road. Watch for traffic. Cross the train tracks. Catfish are sleeping in the mud on your left. Roll up your jeans. Count to 10. Put your feet in the river and swim.
He dips himself in the river. A small metallic sound of forgetfulness. The sound of water. He lies down on the ground, curled up, asleep. Eurydice returns and sees that her spring room is gone.
Where's my room?
The stones are silent.
Where is my room? Answer me!
It's none of our business.
What are you doing here?
You should be with your husband.
Up there.
Where's my father?
The stones point to the father.
Why is he sleeping?
The stones shrug their shoulders.
I've come back!
He can't hear you.
It's too late.
What are you talking about?
He dipped himself in the river.
My father did not dip himself in the river.
He
did. We saw him.
He wanted some peace and quiet.
He did not! Listen, I'll teach you the words, okay? Then we'll know each other again. Ready? We'll start with my name. Eurydice. E. U. R. Y.
He can't hear you.
He can't see you.
He can't remember you.
I hate you! I've always hated you! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I'll tell you, listen, I'll tell you a story.
Try speaking in the language of stones.
It's a very quiet language, like if all the pores in your face opened up and tried to speak.
Stone, rock, tree, stone,
It doesn't
rock.
work. She holds her father.
Didn't you already mourn for your father, young lady?
Some things should be left well enough alone.
To mourn twice is excessive.
To mourn 3 times is a sin.
Life is like a good meal.
Only gluttons want more food when they finish their helping.
Learn to be more moderate.
It's weird for a dead person to be morbid.
We don't like to watch it.
We don't like to see it.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Eurydice cries.
Don't cry! Don't cry!
Learn the art of keeping busy.
It's hard to keep busy when you're dead.
It is not hard. We keep busy and we like it. We're busy, busy, busy stones. Watch us work, keeping still, keeping quiet. It is hard work to be a stone. No time for crying. No, no, no.
I hate you. I've always hated you!
She runs toward them and tries to hit them.
Go ahead. Try to hit us.
You'll hurt your fist.
You'll break your hand.
Enter the child. They have grown. They are now at least 10 feet tall.
Is there
Their
a problem
voice
here?
sounds suspiciously like a nasty, interesting man.
Is there a problem here?
No, sir.
You chose to stay with us, huh? Good. Perhaps to be my bride?
I told you. You're too young.
I'll be the
Good
judge
with
of
that. I've grown.
Yes, I see that.
I'm ready to be a man now.
a man.
I'm ready.
To be.
A man.
Please, leave me alone.
I'll have them start preparing satins and silks. You can't refuse me. I've made my choice.
Can I have a moment to prepare myself?
Don't be long. The wedding songs are already being written. They're very quiet and audible, you might say. A dirt-filled orchestra for my bride. Don't trouble the songs with your music, I say.
A song is two dead bodies rubbing under the covers
to keep warm.
Well. You had better prepare yourself.
There is nothing to prepare.
You had better comb your hair.
You had better find a veil.
I don't need a veil. I need a pen.
Pens are forbidden here.
I need a pencil.
Pencils, too.
Damn you! I'll dip you in the river!
Too late.
Oh, there must be a pen. There must be!
She remembers the pen and paper in the breast pocket of her father's coat. She takes them out. She holds the pen up to show the stove.
A pen.
She writes a letter.
Dear Orpheus, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was afraid. I'm not worthy of you, but I still love you. I think. Don't try to find me again. You would be lonely for music. I want you to be happy. I want you to marry again. I am going to write out instructions to your next wife. To my husband's next wife. Be gentle. Be sure to comb his hair when it's wet. Do not fail to notice that his face flushes pink like a bride's when you kiss him. Give him lots to eat. He forgets to eat and he gets cranky. When he's sad, kiss his forehead and I will thank you. Because he is a young prince and his robes are too heavy on him. His crown falls down around his ears. I'll give this letter to a worm. I hope he finds you. Love, Eurydice.
She puts the letter on the ground. She dips herself in the river. A small metallic sound of forgetfulness. The sound of water. She lies down next to her father as though asleep. The sound of an elevator. Orpheus appears in the elevator. He sees Eurydice. He is happy. The elevator starts raining on Orpheus. He forgets. He steps out of the elevator. He sees the letter on the ground. He picks it up. He scrutinizes it. He can't read it. He stands on it. He closes his eyes. The sound of water. Then silence. The end.
Yes, we can take a picture. Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah.
You can sit on that tiny stool in front of us like a baby.
Thank you.